Hello and welcome. This is Amhara Media Corporation English Service and you're watching our daily updates. I'm Gaila Damu. Stay tuned. United States Secretary General Antony Blinken arrived in Addis Ababa for an official working visit to Ethiopia. Modom Liye reports.
Upon his arrival at Addis Ababa Poli International Airport, the Secretary was warmly welcomed by Misganu Arega, State Minister of Foreign Affairs, and other senior government officials. Blinken is expected to meet various stakeholders in Ethiopia and discuss the implementation of cessation of hostilities and the agreement between the federal government and TPLF. He will also meet humanitarian partners and civil society actors to discuss the humanitarian assistance delivery to affected communities in Ethiopia. The Secretary will also meet the African Union Commission Chairperson Musa Faki Mohamed to discuss shared global and regional priorities as a follow-up on commitments from the US-African Leaders Summit. The Secretary wrote on his Twitter that during his visit to Ethiopia and Niger, he will discuss shared global and regional priorities. Blinken stated, African nations are critical partners in food security, climate crisis, global health, human rights, and peace. He added they deserve greater representation in global institutions.
Japan's ambassador to Ethiopia, Ito Takako, said that her country would continue its assistance for grassroots human security projects in Ethiopia. Brownwork and tells us more.
About 8.7 million birr grant agreement was signed for expanding a primary school and a senior secondary school in Somali and Sidama regions, respectively. The agreement was inked by Ambassador Ito Takako, Executive Director of OWS Development Fund Professor Mohammed Abde, and Arbegona Warada Education Office Head Bayene Balaina. During the signing ceremony, Ambassador Takako said, the two projects are funded through Japan's assistance for grassroots human security projects, which cultivates a direct working relationship between the grassroots level of society and the Japanese embassy in Addis Ababa. She further expressed her hope that the projects will further deepen the relationship between the people of Japan and the people of Ethiopia.
Well, this is a part of our grassroots assistance projects. We have been giving from time to time a new additional project assistance in various areas and the regions. And this time, this is coming to the end of our fiscal year. And we're very fortunate to have two additional ones approved by our headquarters. One is the school, primary school buildings in Somali region, Gode. Another one is in Sidama region, secondary school project. Both are already existing schools, but require more buildings and more school furnitures like desk and chairs, so forth. So we will provide those additional funding for building additional buildings and new furniture and also latrine buildings.
OWS Development Fund Executive Director Professor Mohammed Abdi said on his part, the Japanese government has been among the forefront donors of lots of projects in Somali region.
This project came from last year's drought when Her Excellency Ito visited to Gode. 20 kilometers to the south of the city, there is a village called Gebeas. They have a primary school that has only one classroom and has no latrines. Although the mission was to observe the situation of food security in the area, the ambassador, Her Excellency Ito, observed that there is a need for expansion of that school, which had to serve around 1,400 students. This project is an expansion of 3 classrooms for that school, construction of 1 latrine, and improving the landslide of the school. It will benefit 150 more students, and the school will be fully furnished.
Arbegona Warada Education Office Head Bayene Balaina also noted that the government of Japan has been extending various supports to his warada, especially in the education and health sectors. According to the Embassy of Japan in Ethiopia, the country has implemented over 400 projects across Ethiopia since the grassroots human security project was introduced in 1989.
ርኩስ መንፈስ በሚነሳበት ሰዓት ላይ ቅዱስ ዳዊት እየተጠራ እየሄደ ርኩስ መንፈሱን ያረጋጋለት ነበር። ስለዚህ ምንድነው ሀብተ መንፈስ ቅዱስ ያለው ቃል ስለሆነ
በገና ማለት ፈውስ ማለት ነው። በገና ስንደረድር ሰይጣናት አጋንንታን ከኛ ይርቃሉ።
ለተመስጦ የሚሆንና ቅኝቱና ድምጹ ዝቅ ያለ በመሆኑ ከአብይ ጾም ጋር ተያይዞ እነዚህ መሳሪያዎች በተከለከሉበት በገናን የሚያገናኝልን መሳሪያ ስለሆነ መንፈስን ያረጋጋል።
በገና ለሌሎች ለዓለማውያን ነገሮች፣ ለዘፈኖች፣ ለሙዚቃ የሚመች መሳሪያ አይደለም።
Welcome back. Head of Amhara Region Culture and Tourism Bureau, Mr. Tahir Mohammed, had participated in the ITB Berlin, Germany. The world's largest tourism trade fair, ITB Berlin, is a tourism trade fair that has established itself as a guidance system of a global travel industry. According to Mr. Tahir, the ITB Berlin 2023 Tourism Trade Fair held last week in Berlin, Germany, was a great platform to promote tourist heritage of Amhara region. Mr. Tahir announced that an agreement has been made with UNESCO World Heritage Sites Association to help promote the heritage of the Amhara region, along with Amhara Region Business Sector Association and Ik Rotilington Business Sector Association in Baden-Württemberg, Germany. An agreement has been reached to provide capacity building trainings related to tourism development activities, especially destination development and promotion, as well as improving the delivery of tourism services. IOM Deputy Chief of Mission in Ethiopia, Jian Zhao, has lauded the government of Ethiopia's encouraging efforts to address irregular migration, human trafficking and smuggling issues. Brown Work tells us more.
He made the remark at the opening of the 4th Eastern Horn of Africa Regional Ministerial Forum on Migration in Addis Ababa. Government representatives from Burundi, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Kenya, Rwanda, Somalia, South Sudan, Tanzania and Uganda are attending the forum. Technical experts and policymakers will spend the initial 4 days working in the Regional Ministerial Forum on Migration's diverse technical working group that will look at mapping skills gaps and labor shortages, bilateral labor agreements, harmonizing the sending of remittances and expanding the financial inclusion of migrants. It was indicated that pertinent ministers of the member countries will consider ways of protecting the fundamental human labor, economic and social rights of migrant workers leaving the region and also migrating within. The ministers will also seek to look at establishing consensus on regional common approaches and priorities, promoting social dialogue in the formulation and implementation of evidence-based, human rights-based and gender-sensitive labor migration governance initiatives and frameworks to foster greater labor mobility. During the opening session of the meeting, IOM Deputy Chief of Mission in Ethiopia, Jian Zhao, pointed out that the government of Ethiopia is encouraging efforts to address irregular migration, human trafficking and smuggling issues. According to him, the government is finalizing a national migration policy to address labor migration, human trafficking and smuggling issues. Jen said the government has also been working with countries concerned to make bilateral arrangements for labor migration. Thus, he added, its efforts to prevent these challenges are encouraging and IOM will continue to work in collaboration with the government to enhance migration governance. Labor and Skills State Minister Asegir Getachew said, The meeting is aimed at protecting the rights and interests of citizens who go for work from the region to various countries in the world. He said to do so, procedures, strategy and policy have been prepared for approval by the ministers. A document will be approved during the forum to help protect the rights of workers in places where member countries do not have labor attaches, and they will discuss working in collaboration to prevent human trafficking. He added that Ethiopia is working to create over 3 million jobs a year in order to prevent illegal migration, and work will be done to legally send citizens to work in various countries.
The government of Ethiopia has subsidized 21 billion birr for the purchase of fertilizer during this Ethiopian crop season 2015-2016, according to Ministry of Agriculture. Ron Workana has more on it.
Briefing journalists about the activities to supply the market with agricultural inputs and machinery, Agriculture Minister Gemamente said that efforts are well underway to sustain the achievements registered in agricultural production. According to him, 12.8 million quintals of fertilizer has been bought for the 2015-16 crop season to increase agricultural production. With the 2 million quintals remaining from last year, some 15 million quintals of fertilizer will be supplied to farmers for summer irrigation, bulk and the main rainy season. He said out of the stated amount, over 30% of the fertilizer has reached the port of Djibouti, and about 90% of this transported to regional central warehouse. The government is subsidizing fertilizer in order to alleviate the burden of farmers facing sharp increase of fertilizer due to the Russia-Ukraine war. The minister revealed that 15 billion was similarly subsidized last crop season. The subsidy increases to 21 billion this crop season due to various reasons, including transportation and foreign exchange. The subsidy will significantly increase production and productivity, Girma stated, adding that efforts are also well underway to avail improved seed and agrochemicals.
እርኩስ መንፈስ በሚነሳበት ሰዓት ላይ ቅዱስ ዳዊት እየተጠራ እየሄደ እርኩስ መንፈሱን ያረጋጋለት ነበር። ስለዚህ ምንድነው ሀብተ መንፈስ ቅዱስ ያለው ቃል ስለሆነ
በገና ማለት ፈውስ ማለት ነው። በገና ስንደረድር ሰይጣናት አጋንንታን ከኛ ይርቃሉ።
ለተመስጦ የሚሆንና ቅኝቱና ድምጹ ዝቅ ያለ በመሆኑ ከአብይ ጾም ጋር ተያይዞ እነዚህ መሳሪያዎች በተከለከሉበት በገናን የሚያገናኝልን መሳሪያ ስለሆነ መንፈስን ያረጋጋል።
በገና ለሌሎች ለዓለማውያን ነገሮች፣ ለዘፈኖች፣ ለሙዚቃ የሚመች መሳሪያ አይደለም።
You're watching Amhara Media Corporation English Service, and now let's proceed to News Beyond Borders. The charity group Medicine Sans Frontiers, MSF, also known as Doctors Without Borders, on Tuesday deplored the lack of coordination in the humanitarian response in a troubled and remote region of the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, where, according to the NGO, more than 150,000 displaced people are in urgent need of assistance. In the territory of Lubero, north of Goma, capital of the province of North Kivu, more than 150,000 people who fled the fighting between the Congolese army and the M23 rebellion are living in total destitution, Medicine Sans Frontiers said in a statement, which calls on humanitarian actors to mobilize as soon as possible. MSF says it has observed a slow humanitarian response marked by a lack of coordination despite the availability of funding and the presence of many organizations in Goma. At least 5 people have been killed and 11 wounded, including a governor in a suicide bombing in southwestern Somalia on Tuesday. The attack was not immediately claimed, but eyes are on the Shabab, an Al-Qaeda-affiliated group that regularly carries out suicide bombings in the poor and volatile Horn of Africa country. A police commander, Hussein Adan, said in the town in the Gedo region, 450 kilometers west of the capital Mogadishu, a suicide bomber drove an explosive-laden vehicle into a guest house in Bardera, where government officials were staying. He added that the officials included Gedo Governor Ahmed Boulay Gared and several military commanders. Nearly 200 people are now confirmed dead in Malawi after the devastating tropical cyclone Freddy ripped through southern Africa for the second time in a month. And Nathaniel tells us more.
As the rain continues to fall and overwhelmed, rescue workers struggle to find both the dead and survivors in the mud. That death toll is expected to rise. There has been extensive damage to infrastructure and homes. Power and communications are down still in many affected areas, and an estimated 19,000 people have been displaced by the heavy rain that triggered floods and mudslides. Matara resident Steve Panganani, pointing to a wetland of mud and water on hillside, said,
"You see, this area here was occupied by houses. The whole area here from up there, and people are gone. People are gone. Things are gone. Everything is gone. It's going down. It's going down. From up there, going down. It was just a nucleated area. There were plenty of houses, but they are all gone."
The United Nations said the lack of power and communications is hindering aid operations, and with most of affected regions still inaccessible, the full extent of the damage remains unknown. Humanitarian medical care organization Medicines Sans Frontiers has warned that the region's hospital is overwhelmed by the influx of injured people. The NGO fears that the number of cholera cases will increase in the country, which is already struggling with the deadliest infectious disease it has ever known. President Lazarus Chakwera on Tuesday declared a state of disaster in the country's southern region and the now ravaged commercial capital Blantyre. Meteorologists project that Freddy will continue to thumb southern Malawi and central Mozambique with extreme rainfall before it exits back to the sea late afternoon today.
This is Amhara Media Corporation English Service, and now let's take a look at the foreign exchange rate. That's all the news we have for today. I'm Gaila Damu. Thanks for watching and stay tuned with the rest of our programs.